Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, this is 3 Buck Theater, and today is October 17th, 2017. And I'm not gonna lie, movie news is not very good today. There's not a lot going on, well, the exception of like one or two things, which I will be talking about, but for the most part, it's a slow day. And so when you have slow days out there, I do want to ask you guys, what do you watch to pass the time? What are your favorite movies to just kind of like throw on for background noise? You know, a movie that no matter what will always draw you in, whether you're actually watching it or just kind of listening to it in the background. For me, Pirates of the Caribbean. I've seen that movie, I'm not even kidding you, well over 65 times. And that is not entirely all on purpose. I used to work at a drive-in movie theater in San Diego back in the summer of 2003. That and Finding Nemo were our like #1 combo for 11 weeks. So I had Pirates of the Caribbean playing twice a night for 11 weeks with Nemo in the middle. So I watched a lot of those movies, and still all this time later, 14 years later, I can still sit down and watch them no matter what. I usually like to just kind of pop it on in the background and just have something to listen to, but I always like to, you know, tune in and just go, I love this part. And some parts never get old. And the whole movie is fantastic. The rest of the franchise has its issues, but the original for me is a masterpiece. But I want to know what you guys think, what you guys watch on these kind of days. But without further ado, let's jump into the first story here, which is going to be a bit of a spoiler if you're looking forward to Justice League. So you may want to like skip ahead if you don't want to have anything spoiled. But if you don't care about Justice League, or you just want to know about this particular spoiler, it's really not what you might think. So it turns out that The Big Bang Theory might have accidentally spoiled a cameo appearance in Justice League. Now on Gizmodo it says, a new promotion between the film and The Big Bang Theory to win a trip to the movie's premiere may have revealed that the Green Lantern will actually appear in some capacity in the movie. The show's Geek Stakes promotional site includes an animated spinning wheel featuring the logos of each member of the Justice League, including Superman and the movie's emblem, and then a movie-style version of the Green Lantern logo. Now, this news broke yesterday, and people have been like wildly speculating whether or not this is going to be in the movie. I think it is. I really do. I really think it is. I think it might be that shot well, no, I think that's Black Suit Superman. I think that shot in the trailer where Alfred is sitting there and someone walks up and he's like, oh, it took you long enough. I have a feeling that's Superman, not Green Lantern. But I feel because of Steppenwolf and Steppenwolf being defeated at the end, it's going to probably put a beam out for Darkseid to come from Apocalypse to Earth, and we're going to know because the parademons are clearly going to be a big part of this movie as well. And that could get the attention of the Lantern Corps. And if we're not going to sit there and do a whole origin story of Hal Jordan, if we're just going to skip over that, or they're going to go bring in whoever else they might be, I forget the name of the guy, Jon Stewart, right? That's the other one. Then they're probably just going to have that show up and then have that tie in to the Lantern Corps. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. I think DC is basically doing the same thing now that Marvel's doing. They're looking at origin movies and they're kind of like, let's just not necessarily do that. With Wonder Woman, it was a different story because Wonder Woman was already planned as an origin movie. We don't need a Batman origin movie. We're not going to get one. Suicide Squad wasn't an origin movie for any character there. Like, we know who these characters are. We at least know enough about them to continue, you know, to give them a movie without giving them a huge introduction, right? And I think that's going to be the case going forward. Marvel clearly is in the boat for that kind of thing. But at the same time, I think that this particular spoiler is one that is not by mistake. I don't think this is by mistake at all. I think this is an actual ploy by Warner Brothers and their marketing team to put this information out there in a subtle fashion that will get fans excited to make that opening weekend draw just a little bit bigger. You might have Green Lantern fans that will watch BVS and Suicide Squad and go, oh God, those movies are horrible, you know, and still hate the 2011 Ryan Reynolds movie, but then all of a sudden go, whoa, wait a minute. Green Lantern Corps might make an appearance in Justice League. I have got to go check this out to at least see if it's true, and if they're looking for an extra reason to go see the movie. Because let's be fair, some of these cases, especially with DC movies, there are people who go see them on the opening weekend to hate watch them. They go see them wanting it to suck. They go in there looking for their own confirmation bias. And I know we all know someone who has done that from time to time. So I think that's going to be a big part of this too. And I think this marketing is intentional, and I think that it's going to be in the movie. I could be wrong. I don't know. I won't know till I see it. And oh yes, I will be going to the early screening of this movie because I am pumped for this thing. I loved Batman v Superman. Yep, the extended cut's one of my top 5 movies from last year. I loved Man of Steel. I loved Suicide Squad. I loved Wonder Woman. I am apparently a very easily impressed person, and I'm okay with that. So I'm definitely going to go see what they do with this. I can't wait to see what happens. And if Green Lantern doesn't make an appearance, then this will be one of the best troll jobs of all time, but it won't really matter because at this point, Warner's will have already gotten your money. All right, jumping over into MCU news. This is news that broke last week while I was out of town in Los Angeles and I didn't get the chance to cover it, but I want to cover it now. The Hulk is getting a 3-movie arc with the MCU. This, my friends, is big freaking news because it is actually such a smart business move that I've seen no one comment on yet. I've read the headlines, I've read the reactions, people are excited, Ruffalo's excited. He's the one who basically released the information that they've taken what would be a Hulk film and they've broken it into 3 different arcs, which will then take place over 3 different Marvel movies. This is smart. And the reason why this is smart is because at this point, we are now going to get a full Hulk movie in the MCU, just peppered amongst 3 other films. We couldn't get that before. It's all about the rights. Okay, it's all about the rights with Marvel and Universal and how it all played out, and Universal not giving the rights of the Hulk back to Mark or to MCU Mark to back to the MCU, and so it's entirely possible that that we'll never get a full standalone Hulk movie if Universal really wants to be a jerk about this. But what this essentially does is it is, as far as I know, in terms of the rights, is that they can use the Hulk character, but they just can't give him his own standalone movie without Universal being involved. So what they're going to do is they're going to take those stories that they want to tell, and they're going to basically give him the kind of like the meat and potatoes of those arcs through the movies as a way to tell the full story without giving him a single movie. It's smart. It's smart because, for one, we've wanted the Hulk, more of the Hulk, since 2012. Now, don't get me wrong. The Incredible Hulk from 2008, I thought was fantastic. It was a great follow-up to Iron Man. It solidified the Hulk's existence in the MCU, and it was one that I still, to this day, very much like to go back and enjoy again. I felt that it was good, better than people give it credit for, and better than some of the other origin movies. I thought it was better than Thor. I liked Thor, but I felt the Incredible Hulk was better, and I would have liked to have seen more from that, especially following Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of character from 2012. I loved him in Age of Ultron, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Thor Ragnarok. So we're definitely going to be getting a lot more Hulk, which is really good. And I think part of it has to do with the fact too that Marvel knows that they have this character people really like, and that they're kind of stuck on when it comes to the rights for the whole situation. So this will be a good move for them, and they might be able to figure out a way to take this particular character, give it this arc treatment like this, and then also apply that to other characters. So hear me out for a second. What if they did this? We know Marvel has effectively killed off the Fantastic Four. They're not producing any more comics. It's just they've let it go dormant. Fox dropped the ball with the movie. We know that there's been talks, I think, about that to an extent. Kevin Feige would probably like to he wants to get all the characters back under one roof, obviously. So what if they worked the deal to just bring the Fantastic Four over into the MCU, similar to how the Hulk is brought over? And it's just they make an appearance in a big team-up movie. They have their own arcs across some films, so on and so forth. Now, I did hear that Secret Empire, apparently, or Secret War, might be something coming down the pipeline. That was a recent big comic event through the Marvel Comics brand, and that heavily featured Ben Grimm. So maybe the deal is just for Ben Grimm. I would rather take Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm. You can leave the rest. I'm okay with that. Give me those 2, I'd be happy. But if anything, give me Ben Grimm and more of the Michael Chiklis Ben Grimm. None of that Jamie Bell Ben Grimm. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was bad. The whole movie was bad, but the three arc story for the Hulk is a fantastic business move, and it's one that shows that they are able to work around certain issues with contracts and property rights in order to give us, the fans, what we want. And that just goes to show you why Marvel is always going to be the top of the game. They find ways around these issues, they make problems work, and everyone else is seriously just left like in the dust. All right, so jumping over into internet streaming news, especially dealing with Netflix. And this is a company that keeps, very much like Marvel, kind of reinventing the wheel for how they do things. It's very impressive to watch Netflix work, and I'm always curious to see what they're going to do next. And so when they made this announcement, I was like, wow, okay, you guys are clearly in this for the long haul, and that would be that they're going to spend $8 billion on original content in 2018. $8 billion. I feel like doing a Dr. Evil there. $8 billion. Okay, I'm sorry. That was horrible. I do apologize. But damn. Just damn. So this year, Netflix is like, between 6 and 7 billion. Last year was like 6 billion. This year's between 6 and 7 billion. Next year's going to be between 7 and 8 billion, probably more towards the 8 billion mark. And this is coming from a company that is currently $20 billion in debt, which I don't fully understand how, to be honest with you. They've got 100 million monthly users, and you average the monthly user is $10 a month, soon to be 11, or higher in some cases, just because of how they're adjusting their pricing structure. Currently, I pay for the 4 screens with the UHD streaming because I've got a 4K TV, so it's $12 a month, and I feel that's a value, in my opinion. So, I mean, they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money from a lot of people, and they're in debt. I don't get it. Just the general math doesn't make any sense to me. I'm also not a Hollywood accountant. I'm some random pendejo with a YouTube channel. That's really about it. But they are also planning to put out 80 original movies that, according to CEO Ted Sarandos, range anywhere from the $1 million Sundance hit all the way up to something on the much larger scale. Now, we don't know what that means. We literally don't know what that means. I do know, for just an example, the movie Bright, starring Will Smith, that comes out in 2 months on Netflix, they spent $3 million buying the spec script from Max Landis when it was in a bidding war with other studios, and they dropped $90 million on the budget, bringing on Will Smith, Joel Edgerton, a whole bunch of other actors, and David Ayer to direct the movie. This is no small production. This is them spending serious dough to produce something that is going to be a big movie on the platform. Now, whether or not it's a big hit, I have no idea. Netflix seems to do well in terms of their television series. Those are where you get the viral content. Stuff like American Vandal and Stranger Things and Orange is the New Black and House of Cards. I mean, there's so many shows on there. The Defenders series, for example. All that stuff. They put out a great deal of content. And they do this very well because they trust the creators. That's why South Park's episode last week, when they made the joke about getting the Netflix series and they called into Netflix, the guy answered the phone by saying, "Welcome to Netflix," or "Thank you for calling Netflix, you're greenlit." That's what it feels like. And then it comes out a couple days later that they're dropping $8 billion on content. So this is a time when I think if you are an independent filmmaker, you are a person who wants to, create a TV show, you might want to hit up the Netflix, because they seem to really be wanting to create this content. And I do feel this has a lot to do with just bucking the studio system. The studio system right now is not doing very well. Not at all. I talked to my friends who work at the drive-in last night. They're telling me that even though they've got Blade Runner and they've got It playing and a few other big movies playing right now, attendance is down. It's just down across the board. And they're all hurting because that's mostly their jobs, that they're not getting hours for. And the owner is freaking out because he doesn't know what to do. Well, I mean, the clear answer there is marketing, but let's not even go into that. The point is basically like Netflix has done a lot to take away from that. People will just wait for Netflix. It's one of the reasons why Disney's streaming service, that they need 32 million people a month to even make it sustainable, is going to be a very hard number to reach. Within like 5 years, I think. So this is crazy. I'm very excited to see what Netflix is coming up with, dropping $90 million on the Will Smith movie, $46 million on the Martin Scorsese film, The Irishman. They are very much going to take talent away from Hollywood and put it on streaming, I think, as a huge middle finger to them. And quite frankly, yeah, I'm okay with that. I love the movie industry. I love Hollywood. I love all this stuff, but this is where Netflix is showing the studios where the studios are going wrong in terms of this kind of content. They're going to allow the creators to not have to worry about the MPAA, not have to worry about the FCC, not have to worry about any of these things, and create the content that they want. And as a result of that, we, the consumer, are far better off. And this should be a wake-up call to studios that it's really time to get your shit together. All right, jumping over into Star Wars news, because this just came out today and everyone out there is kind of about it. I haven't really heard many people super happy about this particular revelation. But according to LucasFilm, we now have a title for the Han Solo spin-off movie, simply called Solo: A Star Wars Story. How original, right? I'm not a huge fan of the title, to be honest with you. I'm not. It sounds like you're making beer pong the movie, right? Oh, Solo cups. I mean, I could just imagine the parodies of this right now. Solo, the actual producer of those cups, are probably like, oh, our stock is going to go up because people are going to be making fun of this, and people are going to, it's just I get it. It should just be called Han Solo. Just call it Han Solo. Don't call it Solo. Just call it Han Solo. But I will say, regardless of the title being kind of right, like it is pretty the talent behind it looks pretty good. Ron Howard has been doing quite a bit to bolster the film's presence, going as far as to actually reveal the name of the film in this Twitter video. Take a look.
Hi. Well, as we wrap up production, I just want to take this moment to thank an incredibly talented cast and crew for all their hard work. And to the fans out there, I hope you've enjoyed the pictures that I've been sharing, pictures that I've taken from the set of... Can we even say the name of the movie? I'll see you next year.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, right? Just Chewbacca hands him the card and everything else. And the reason why he's been doing this, the reason why Ron Howard has been really promoting the film on social media is to basically dispel myths that it's a train wreck. He's trying to run damage control, and this is probably something that's been put on by the studio. They know that when filmmakers or actors share behind-the-scenes photos and behind-the-scenes information, that does a lot to kind of quell concerns with the audience. When a production is shut down, when it's locked away, when it's secretive, rumors run rampant. Rumors run, and they can never be controlled, and that's why you get some really crazy stories every once in a while, because the studio cannot confirm or deny a lot of them. They can't comment on many, and some of the more salacious ones will make their way halfway around the world before the truth has time to put on its pants, as once quoted by Mark Twain. Of course, I paraphrased and I destroyed it. That being said, May 25th, 2018 is when the movie drops. I'm definitely going to be there. I am super freaking stoked to see this movie. At the same time, please Disney, please Kathleen Kennedy, please Lucasfilm, change the title. The title's not very good. The title's not very good at all. Let's just not do that. And finally today, guys, I want to touch a little bit real quick on the whole Harvey Weinstein situation, at least something good that's coming out of it, in my opinion. Over the course of the past week, Hollywood has been rampant with stories coming out from actress after actress after actress about how he was treating them. You have some, male people in the industry as well, some men in the industry that have come out making their stories known. Not anything involving sexual harassment, but just how he treated them in general. Harvey Weinstein abused people as a whole, but he targeted women. That is just abundantly true. And that's the unfortunate side effect of working in this industry. You have the dark, seedy underbelly. And while people are tackling this particular issue right now, there are some that are trying to do what they can in order to make up for it. That would actually be Kevin Smith, saying here that he will be donating his Weinstein movie residuals to women's charity. Now, I'm all down for that. Kevin Smith can spend his money how he wants, and he's going to be giving his residuals plus $2,000 a month for life to a woman's charity that does cater to women in filmmaking. And that is a good thing. I think we do need more people out there. We do need more diverse voices, more people telling certain stories from their certain perspectives to give us all an idea of their own lived experiences. While I myself might criticize certain social issues on my main channel, I am all for differences in opinion and telling stories. That's how we grow as a society. And so to see this happen is pretty cool. I'm actually okay with this. But it also tells me, if I can just get kind of political for a moment, it does kind of tell me that this is more of an open secret than many people out there want to admit that it is. This feels to me like more guilt and reparations versus anything else. Now, I'm not saying that to criticize Kevin Smith. I do think he is doing a very kind and generous thing here. But at the same time, a lot of people profited off of Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein also profited off of a lot of people in a multitude of different ways. So I'll be curious to see what's going to be happening next, about whether or not people actually come up and start doing the same thing that Kevin Smith is doing. He, I feel, is trying to clear his conscience over things he's probably known about for many years. And I really do hope at this point in time, again, just to get a little bit more political, that while we are dealing with this issue of Harvey Weinstein and his predatory practices, maybe Corey Feldman can finally get the piece he needs when people start asking him who did it. It's now okay to speak up so we can end the rampant problem of child abuse that permeates in Hollywood as well. This is not a pure industry. It's not. People who work in it are not angels. People who work in it are they run in a different caste system. Absolutely. When I worked there, I worked, bottom level as a runner. I worked, social media. I ran lighting. I ran audio. I did everything other than call the shots. But I met people who did call the shots, and a lot of them were not the nicest people on the planet. I don't know anything about skeletons in their closet, but the people on the ground floor, the people who are the ones that are what are known as below the line, your general grunts, your gophers, so on and so forth. These are the people who do get taken advantage of. And this does happen to everyone on all facets of the industry, not just on-screen talent, but behind the scenes as well. And it's time for people to, in fact, step up and call out a number of these instances. It can't just be attacking Harvey Weinstein. If you've got the evidence and if you've got the information, come forward, go to the police, and help put a stop to these issues. Just blatantly shaming people on social media is not going to be enough, because I'm sorry, Twitter isn't 911. Take what you have to the police, make a paper trail, and help stop these problems before they hurt anybody else. Because as long as we just keep ignoring that a lot of other people are injured in Hollywood, not just actresses, then the problem still permeates and there are still more victims. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Sorry to get all political there at the end. It's just something I've been wanting to get off my chest, and I feel this is a good platform for it. I love movies, you love movies, that's why we're here. We're talking about the entertainment industry. It's an industry that many of us are absolutely, completely smitten with, and we want to make sure that it's good for everyone. So I hope you guys liked the episode. If you did, please toss it a thumbs up. Please comment below, answer the question from the front of the episode. And if you have any movie stories you want to submit, head over to mundanematt.com/submit, or you guys can hit me up on Twitter or through email, so on and so forth, and give me that information that way. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out.